Good morning, UBS, and welcome to our last Monday coffee chat for a month because I am off to Thailand on Wednesday morning and having a month off after an intense 115 days, 52 events out of the goal of 100 for 2016. And today I have a dear friend, a past client, author of mine, Lorraine Pirihi, joining us to add some value to our coffee chats and share on how to avoid burnout. She has been a massive action taker. I have known her pretty much from the beginning of starting this particular business, which is Relaunch Your Life. And she's an amazing mentor and coach herself. So let me introduce you to her officially. Please do use the question box or the comments box on Facebook Live as well. Questions on go to webinar and anything further that you'd like to know, of course, post it up in the group and we can jump on and answer if it remains unanswered. So she's on the other end. We've been having a bit of a chat before you guys came on the call, and I'll give you her official introduction, and that is that Lorraine Pirihi is a productivity specialist, a business mentor and life coach, all wrapped into one through her business, as I said, Relaunch Your Life. She just transforms the lives of baby boomers who have lost their business mojo. Lorraine created the first Facebook group that is called Baby Boomer Business Owners. So if you're in that group you're a baby boomer business owner, please jump on board. She has a very active and helpful community there that she have built, and that's the first one in Australia. She is the author of Mind Your Time, 50 Ways to Succeed in Business and Life, which includes the real life stories of her clients who have overcome stress and overwhelm to become productivity powerhouses. So Lorraine wasn't, in terms of what I know of her, this is not on her bio, but she did run another business for over 10 years. So she's not a newbie in the business world, but this particular business, Relaunch Your Life, came about, I believe, because she started losing her spark and had a defining moment. So Lorraine, welcome this morning.
Good morning there. Great to be here.
Fantastic. So tell me, let's start off maybe there in terms of maybe tell us a little bit about that background of the other business you had for, I think, over a decade, and when and how did it happen that you started losing your spark, and how did you actually turn that around? So what was the defining moment around that?
Yeah, well, I had a business for 13 years. It was called the Productivity Queen. So I used to help business owners, small business owners, get organised and be more productive. So that covered a whole range of things. And it was around business coaching, but we also covered their life as well. And cut a long story short, it was about, actually I was looking at it today, it was like 4 years ago that I started to lose my spark. I was at that age, I was 50, and I think about that now, that's quite scary. I was about 53, 54 at the time, and my daughter just been overseas and life was changing, and I thought there was something wrong with me. I just felt I just couldn't be bothered. I was sick of business. If I had to go to another networking event, I'd just sort of balk at that, and I just didn't want to do anything in relation to business. I just felt stressed out and worn out, not just by business but by life in general, and I had a few things going on personally which just added to it, and I kept pushing it away and pushing it away, and I just got to a point that I decided I'm gonna walk away, and a range of things happened as a result of me doing that, and then I tried to find myself for the next couple of years after that. And I thought I'd go back into employment because I needed purpose and direction. I thought it'd be really easy. And believe me, it certainly wasn't easy being mediocre. So I reinvented myself about 2 or 3 times, and I just got to a point. I actually ended up being, and I say this when I'm speaking, I actually got sacked 3 times because I just wasn't mediocre enough, and I had really toned myself down. It still wasn't good enough, and I just couldn't stand it anymore. You know, I had all these great skills to share, and I just decided one day I'm going to have to go back into business because I'm totally unemployable, and I'm just hiding myself. I'm hiding myself in mediocrity. And then my and this defining moment came about. There was an ad for a personal development weekend, and I'd done heaps of that, by the way, all the way through, but this particular ad got my attention, and I went along to their 2-day weekend, and I just knew then and there whatever they had to offer, I was going to do it, and I knew then and there that I was going to go back into business. And within a week, I had created Relaunch Your Life. So in a nutshell, that's how it happened. But it doesn't just happen. A lot of things, I had to do a lot of things along the way to find who I was and what I was going to do.
Yeah. And how long since you've now had Relaunch Your Life? Has it been now 18 months or closer to 2 years?
Yeah, closer to 2 years. Yeah, closer to 2 years. And I knew when I got started all the basics that I had to do to get moving again. But what I knew too then, I had to have help and support. I could not do business on my own. You know, I very quickly sought out, a mentor and a coach. And thank God I came across you, Nat, because that really made a huge difference to, the progress and success that I achieved. Very important to have a guiding light who knows what they're talking about, to help you move forward quickly.
So that was one of the ways. One of my questions for you was, how did you so quickly build Relaunch Your Life? And I have known, you didn't just invest in, myself and writing your book, but you also, I know, have invested in other experts to help you propel you a lot faster. So I think that's been also my experience in my business, that constantly reinvesting. But one thing I know about you, and correct me if I'm wrong, you absolutely take action and utilize your investments and what you have, who you're asking help from, you actually do use it, because a lot of people invest in something and then put it up on the shelf.
Well, that's right, and a lot of people do that, and you see it all the time. There are all these bright, shiny objects,
Yeah.
and they don't get focused. And often too, they're looking at the wrong thing to solve the problem. See, my issue was me. There's no doubt about it. It was me, how I was feeling, and it wouldn't matter how many Facebook ads I put up. I'm just saying, how much I invested in a website or anything like that. I had to deal with the issue, and often we don't. We just keep ourselves busy, and that whatever's gnawing at you. See, I knew, by the way, that I knew for more than a year that things weren't right inside, but I just kept myself busy and tried to avoid it. And then it come to a point that I just had to go and do something. And I was going to say too, when people do invest in the mentors and what have you, and we all need them, make sure you follow what they suggest to you, not get sidetracked and ask the opinions of 10 other people who don't know your situation and often don't have the expertise either.
Yeah, so you're very right there, and that's a key point there, guys. Is you must follow the rules as they're set out, because obviously they were successful for the person you've hired. So there's a system behind it, and utilize what you've got to use there. So what is it that you think? Why is it that so many business owners get caught up in that shiny object syndrome?
I think sometimes it makes them feel good, and they just don't have enough belief also and confidence in themselves. So they feel that somebody else has got the solution for them, and if they just follow off on that path, they'll have the success. But the gold is in with you, and it's just getting yourself right first. That's why it's so important, the personal development side of things, and having belief in yourself, and then seeking out what you really need.
Mm.
And I think too, so many people are very disorganized. My background, I'm a productivity specialist. They just waste so much time. So they're so cluttered in their thinking, they can't even make the right decisions.
Yeah. So what you're saying is focus on getting yourself out of the way and doing some personal development before you start looking for this strategy or that strategy, or I'm going to fix my business this way, or I'm going to do this. Because really, and this is what I have found on my journey, is people actually need more life coaching first before they need official strategic business coaching.
I would agree with that, and that's why I focus on that area first. Although they might say, because my market's, the business owners over 50, so they've got a lot of things ahead of them. A lot of life issues they're considering, and life changes, and it's not so much always about. Of course, everyone wants to make their business, better and bigger and all that sort of thing. But there's so many other issues that are getting in their way to before they can actually do that. They've got to deal with the personal stuff first, feel better about themselves, create that energy within themselves, focus on what really counts, and then that will flow back into their business to help that, be stronger and better.
Yeah, I agree. So what you're saying is your business is a reflection of how you feel about yourself personally and the relationships that you have around you.
Absolutely. I know myself particularly when I look back at my other business, when I wasn't feeling good, nothing much was going on in my business. And it got to a point, I just felt so crappy.
Mm.
I just couldn't do anything. I was not the least bit interested. That's why it's so important. Get your head right first. And when I look back, when I went to I really should have got, and I should have known better myself. I should have got myself a life coach instead of talking to the conventional people about how do I extricate myself from my business, what could I sell if I could sell anything, and going down the mainstream, talk to an accountant, a business broker, and people like that. I should have got a life coach. I reckon that would be the number one thing at the time
Yeah,
that would have made a massive difference.
yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and I agree. Except the majority of our world or people that actually don't understand what life coaching is and what it stands for. Usually, life coaches themselves understand it, but not many people do. So we need to, niche around that so that people understand. Well, what are the frustrations that we help others overcome? That is, if you're branding yourself as a life coach. All right. So then tell me, so on the topic on how to avoid burnout, so how do you do this for yourself, or how have you assisted some of your clients in avoiding it, or when they've been close to it? What are some of the things you would suggest?
Yeah, well, first thing is you've got to take care of yourself first. So, with all the clients that I've worked with, one of their key goals is to get themselves. They want to feel in a better state of mind, and so we look at obviously the mindset stuff, but they want to feel fitter and healthier. They're often, especially you see people as they get older, particularly over the age of 50, they put on the weight, and they look like they're tired, worn out, and over life in general. I mean, it shows up. You can see it on their body and often on their faces. So it's about regaining their power and getting them fit and healthy again, and not like what they were in maybe when they were 20 or 25,
Yeah.
but eating healthily, getting into a routine of regular exercise, getting enough sleep, because when they're feeling better about themselves, then they can do other things. But the first thing is to get them feeling good about themselves so that they've got the confidence to make good decisions about the things that they need to do to move forward.
Yeah, I love it. Well, that's why I got up this morning to have my PT session at 8 a.m. I thought I wasn't going to after such a big weekend with our retreat. And then I called my
Yeah.
PT last night to go, are we doing it at 8 o'clock this morning? And she goes, I thought you said you were going to be too tired. I said, I think I better get back into routine, because once I do it, it gets my day started, and it creates momentum, I believe.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Most people don't have enough routine in their lives,
Mm.
or enough scheduling. And this is an area that is just so important. And particularly the older you get, the more you need it.
Yeah.
And again, in this area, the health and the fitness, because I've got a background in the fitness industry, and I'm a strong proponent about all that. You've got to get the right sort of help, not try and work it out on your own, because I don't know how many people, they'll try this and they'll take these shakes and go off on these fad diets and all sorts of things. They're not long term, they're not sustainable, and they won't get the results that they want.
What are the kind of things that you do? Like, what's your routine? Could you maybe take us through your daily routine of what happens? Because I'm curious. I know you do work out regularly. So, what would a day in Lorraine Pirihi's life look like?
Yeah, okay. So every day starts out early. I get up at 10 past 5 this is during the week, 10 past 5, and I shower and all that sort of stuff. But then I head off to training. So I go to a trainer near us. I walk up there in the mornings and we do strength training. And then I'm back here about, I walk back and I'm home by 7 o'clock and just do my general routines, cleaning up and what have you. And then I'm always ready and good to go by 9 o'clock. So Mondays and Tuesdays are my days for my coaching days,
Yeah.
and I always have a break during the day. I'm organised. I've got my diary. I know what I'm doing for the week, and I have schedules and routines. And I won't generally. Yes, I might work a little bit at night sometimes, but then I'll take time out during the day.
Mm.
When I went into business a second time, and because I'm older too, I'm not at the same pace as what I was 10, 15 years ago.
Sure.
I've sort of wound back a bit, so I want to have a life as well, and I think that's really important, and to get enough sleep.
Yeah, nice, beautiful. Yeah, that's you're definitely an early riser. There's no way you're going to see me out of bed. I think any earlier than 7. But that's okay because I get really productive and do lots of things at night. And I'm a night owl, but I must agree that my exercise, like I usually have an 8 a.m. PT session for half an hour intensely, and that gets me totally going. And I am also going by 9 o'clock. So I just fit everything in that first hour. Love it.
Yeah, and productivity and organization, whatever you want to call that area of your life, being organized, which is my background, is crucial to get the right things done. I mean, so many people are running around always busy, busy, but if you really have a look at their day and what they do, they are wasting so much time, and often the focus is not on the important stuff, it's just on the urgent because they're reactive. There's no real plan and there's no structure and routine happening in their lives, and that's a flow-on effect into their personal life as well.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. You gotta go to do the things that are important, as you said, and not urgent. And that's people get caught up in doing being busy for the sake of being busy almost, and that's where we see lack of growth and results and stuff. So tell me, what would be as one of my before I ask you for an awesome tool you want to share with our listeners. So if someone is tired, overwhelmed, and over it, what should be the first thing they should do?
I think they should just stop.
Yeah.
They should just stop and get, work out what the hell is it? What is it that's making me feel like that? They know. I knew deep down what it was, and it took a long time to unravel, so to speak, unclutter the clutter with help. I knew, and I tried to avoid it. So whatever it is that you're avoiding is the thing that you need to be looking at, because what will happen is it's going to rear its head somewhere along the line, and you don't want to be in a situation where you're reacting rather than you've made plans to make changes in that particular area or various areas. You know what it is, and stop lying to yourself.
Yeah, yeah. What are you pretending to not know that if you were to know it, would enable
Yeah,
you to create the change easily and effortlessly, even more right now. So, our ultimate coaching question, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So that's the first thing. And then if you want to avoid burnout, um, always you must get help. Okay, no, as I said before, no good slapping on, or going across to getting a website done. That's not going to sort your problem out.
Mm,
Sort yourself out first and get the help you need. Then you can deal with stuff. And cleaning out the clutter is crucial. Otherwise, if you've got clutter everywhere, physically and mentally, you're stressed, you're overwhelmed, and it'll hold you back. I remember a client that I was working with a little while back. She had an accountancy business from home, and it was really interesting. She had kids later in life, and something popped up about the clutter, and she realised that all the clutter she surrounded herself with was really keeping her small. She was keeping it around her so that she wouldn't move out. It was just holding her back.
yeah,
And once she released the clutter and cleaned up, she could just think much more clearly and move forward much more quickly.
love it, love it. So, what is one tool that you can share with our listeners that you use? As you say, you're in that slightly older group, if you like. No, would you? Baby boomer? Are you a baby
Mature age.
boomer? No, I don't know are you in the baby boomer generation? Is that
Yeah,
you are?
yeah, absolutely.
So
I consider baby boom. Yeah, I consider the sort of the baby boomers are over 50. I'm 50. I'll be 60 in January, so that's scary shit.
are you serious? You're going to be 60? I had no idea. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And see what you can look 45 and be 60, right? Because Lorraine looks amazing. Let me show the people on Facebook Live your pictures. Right? This woman is going to be 60. Yeah, right. Okay. So, okay, coming from a baby boomer, because haven't had someone from your generation on the coffee chat as yet. So I'd love to know what tool you're going to share, because usually baby boomers are a bit tech scared, and they avoid a lot of the sort of online kind of stuff. So, what tool would you love to share with our listeners that you maybe regularly use that they could?
Isn't that interesting? What tool? I think the most important tool you could ever use, but I'm still old school on this one, is a diary.
Yeah,
Is the most important tool you could possibly use.
yeah,
Yeah, and allocating time in the diary, not just for the meeting, but to get the work done and planning out, whether you use it, scheduler or whatever you use,
hmm,
up to you. But can I tell you, I'm old school. I've got the A4 diary and it works, and it just works.
yeah. Well, that's why
Mm.
I designed mine last year, because that's what I use. And even though I can be techie and I do all of that kind of stuff, I love having a physical diary. I think the connection from the mind, from hand to mind, is so key. I always say what gets scheduled gets done, and absolutely not just putting in appointments there, but your plan, your goals, your things you're going to attend, the things you must focus on, your top six to-do lists, all of that kind of stuff. So, yep, totally. An oldie but a goodie, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes everyone's looking for more complex, more modern things. The basics always remain, in life. It's a bit like the diet, the exercise, losing the weight, whatever. It's all the basics. You can still try and dress it up any other way via marketing, but it still comes down to the basics.
Well, I say that I have my business plan literally evolves around that A4 diary and my whiteboard on the wall, which has got all my events planning and my holidays and things like that, my whole year plan. So I must say that those two things really are my core planning tools. I certainly use an app here and there, but yeah, I think you can be just as effective doing a couple of things manually, and I think it's a little bit more powerful.
I agree.
Beautiful. So thank you so much. We're about to go into the last 5 minutes to let the guys know about our upcoming monthly events and things like that. So I appreciate you coming on the call today. I know we organized this a little while ago, and you thought for a second that I wasn't going to have you as a guest because I was so busy at retreat. But no, of course,
Yeah, I did.
as I said, what gets scheduled gets done. I once it goes in that diary, it always happens. And if it doesn't, I would give people plenty of notice. So thank you for getting up this morning. You're probably feeling like it's middle of the day if you've been up since 5. um,
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
yeah, love it. So I might pop you back on mute so we don't get any background noise. Stay on if you want to hear the rest of the show for the next few minutes. And for those of you that would like to connect with Lorraine, she's an amazing lady and a powerhouse, massive action taker. Her details have been on the slide in front of us, but her website is relaunchyourlife.com.au. I'm sure you can connect with her through there. Thank you so much, Lorraine, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Nat.
Bye. All right, guys. So I've just muted Lorraine so I can do the rest of the bits. So just going through some housekeeping, if you like. And that is, let me show the guys that are also watching on Facebook Live. So just letting you know once again that our Ultimate Business Support membership is live and taking members. It is an amazing opportunity to tap deeper into the resources that we share. It's an investment of just $247 for a full year and gives you access to our monthly live networking events that happen 10 times, once a month from Feb to November. They happen in 3 cities, being Adelaide, Melbourne, and Sydney. And most importantly, we do have access for you to my inner circle membership area, which normally is valued at $497, and a 2-day brand accelerator masterclass ticket attendance, which is a massive course that you can attend. So that's all for $247 to become a UBS member. So if you're interested, do contact me. Now, with our upcoming dates and events, there's a couple of things happening. So I'm just going to go into here and also post things in the chat box for those of you that have come to us through GoToWebinar. So our Adelaide monthly event is happening tomorrow. Tomorrow, right? And this is a link that I'm posting in there. I'll also post these links inside the group. Tomorrow night in Melbourne, you guys, it's not a UBS event, but it's mine and Francesca Moy's book launch for Bums on Seats. So we'd love to see you at the book launch celebrating with us. We're expecting about 70 to 90 people. Always people buy like tickets, so it's going to be a massive night. And then last of all, the May event for Melbourne is on the 26th of May. So that'll have Samantha Jansen talking about leveraging LinkedIn and Facebook for growth. And Sydney, we don't have a link as yet, but it is 23rd of June. So Sydney's having a bit of a 6-week gap because Sam, our leader there, is getting married. And however, I will be going up in June and I will be the special speaker on the 23rd of June in Sydney. So we'll post more information on that getting closer to the date. But yeah, go along to the events. You will meet some people offline rather than just online through the group. This is how we develop really authentic relationships and move things forward the best, and fastest way. Face to face is always 3 or 4 times faster than online connections. Last of all, before I go to Thailand, our 14th of June hot seat day still has a couple of seats left. This is a 90-day blueprint plan that we come up with, and it's at our home. You can see a little image of us here doing a hot seat day in April, and we've got a second date set for the 26th of July. So they're nicely filling. The investment in these is $597, includes food, planning your next 90 days, and walking away with a wealth of masterminded actions for what you should be focusing on in your business. So I trust you have enjoyed today. And thanks once again to Lorraine, who has, I've known since the beginning of this particular business that she has been in. And it's been my pleasure and privilege to help her write, and compile her book last year in our February retreat. Congratulations to the authors that completed this retreat just gone from yesterday. It was a massive group, but gosh, we organized. We were super organized. I am going to go and do all my follow-up stuff that happens after retreat. Hope you guys have an amazing week. And we will resume probably in about a month's time. I will post in the group when and how and with whom. It's just now it's time for a holiday. As I said, 115 days, 52 events, 2 retreats. Like it's been a whirlwind, but so rewarding and absolutely amazing results as well as a result of all the actions. So I'll see you soon. Have a fantastic week. Hope this is giving you a jump start, and make sure you look after yourself before you are able to look after other people through your business. Talk soon. Bye.